under the regime of Emerson Mnangagwa, the people of Zimbabwe have experienced it all, even the worst of the worst. There has been fake constitutional court challenges. You remember the constitutional court challenge that was actually done by a man called More Precision Muzazi, as well as also Pardon Kambakwe. Of course, there are still genuine constitutional court challenges that have been filed by war veterans. It has been a lot of drama. It has been very, very chaotic. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. Is the Constitutional Court taking heed of the instructions that were given by the Attorney General of Zimbabwe when he told the Constitutional Court to throw any cases challenging the tenure extension of Emerson Mnangagwa? I guess we are beginning to see the results of those words in a unanimous judgment delivered by Deputy Chief Justice Pardon Gawe with Justice Ben Hlatshwayo and Bharat Patel concurring. The court ruled that the applicants, More Precision Muzazi and Mr. Pardon Kambakwe, had failed to demonstrate that it was in the interest of justice for the Constitutional Court to hear the matter as a court of first instance. So they are already doing what they did to the case of the war veterans, as well as also to the court of, to the case of this other politician, opposition politician, I've forgotten his name. The Constitutional Court has dismissed an application by two citizens seeking direct access to challenge the constitutionality of a ZANU-PF conference resolution, which they claimed was aimed at extending President Mnangagwa's tenure beyond the constitutional limit. In a unanimous judgment delivered by Deputy Chief Justice Paddington Gawe with Justices Ben Hlatshwayo and Bharat Patel concurring, the court ruled that the applicants, Mr. More Precision Muzazi and Mr. Pardon Kambakwe, had failed to demonstrate that it was in the interest of justice for the Constitutional Court to hear the matter as a court of first instance. The applicants sought leave under Section 1675 of the Constitution to institute substantive constitutional proceedings, arguing that a resolution adopted at the ZANU-PF National People's Conference in Mutare in October 2025 threatened citizens' political rights by seeking to extend the president's term of office from 5 years to 7 years. They contended that the resolution infringed constitutional provisions guaranteeing regular elections and limiting the president's tenure. They also alleged that President Mnangagwa had acted inconsistently with his constitutional oath by failing to repudiate the resolution. However, the Constitutional Court held that the application was procedurally defective and failed to comply with the Constitutional Court rules governing applications for direct access. Justice Gawe said the applicants had not properly pleaded the legal and factual basis by bypassing the High Court, which enjoys concurrent jurisdictions in constitutional matters. The application is not properly constituted for adjudication, the court said, adding that merely citing constitutional provisions or alleging a constitutional grievance did not satisfy the threshold for direct access. The court further held that the dispute was not ripe for determination because no constitutional amendment bill proposing changes to presidential term limits had been introduced in Parliament. So it's just like what they call it, an academic judgment, because this court is, releasing a very late judgment. The Deputy Chief Justice said the alleged constitutional infringement remained speculative and dependent on uncertain future legislative processes. What the applicants invite the court to determine is the constitutionality of a possible future legislative process contained in a political party resolution, which may or may not occur. The judgment reads, but these judges, they are trying to play smart. They know that, of course, they delayed issuing this judgment, but they know that the process of Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3 of 2026 has been concluded. The fears that were feared in this regard have happened already. So it continues to say, such as a dispute remains eminently speculative and hypothetical, but it was good speculation. In Zimbabwe, when you hear me saying I'm speculating, it may be factual. It is not justifiable. The court reaffirmed the doctrine of constitutional avoidance, saying courts should not decide abstract or hypothetical constitutional questions before disputes have crystallized into concrete controversies. It said premature judgment intervention would risk intruding into matters falling within the constitutional domain of Parliament and the executive. The court also noted that direct access to the Constitutional Court is an extraordinary remedy reserved for exceptional cases where the interests of justice require litigants to bypass lower courts. Having found that the applicant had failed to establish both the procedural requirements for direct access and the existence of a ripe constitutional dispute, the court dismissed the application. Consistent with the approach in the constitutional litigation, the Constitutional Court made no order as to cost. So the case of Zimbabwe, and more precision, dismissed by the Constitutional Court, actually after the Attorney General had instructed the Constitutional Court to do so. But remember, it was not dismissed because of merits. It was dismissed on technicalities. And also, what the judges say, for us who are in the now, who understand the processes that have unfolded, these people might have properly prophesied or might have properly emphasized the future, how things were going to pan out. And the things pan out to be how people predicted to the Constitutional Court. And this is actually an embarrassment to the. If this judgment was issued way before the processes had unfolded, what they're actually saying in that judgment is actually making this judiciary to be a judiciary of insensitive judges. They cannot sense what may be coming in the future and best act in the interest of actually justice. In this instance, we can safely say the judiciary system of Zimbabwe, in this case, demonstrated beyond any reasonable doubt that it is an anti-people judiciary system. Unfortunately, when I say so, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not intimidated to say the facts. It is what it is, an anti-people judiciary system, a judiciary system that is in the pockets of ZANU-PF. That is why they are able to accept gifts from the politicians as well as the government, as an entity that is supposed to be independent and best acting in the interest of justice to save the people of Zimbabwe. We will wait to see how many cases they will continue to dismiss, but definitely it must be understood that the political battles are not best fought in the judiciary system. The political battles are best fought in the streets. That is where it matters the most. That is why you see ZANU-PF actually, when they see the streets calling, they become uneasy because they understand the power that comes with the streets. Before you go, I want to make a special announcement. On the 11th of August, it's just a few days away, Hlonipani Ncube would be releasing his, it's the third album, yes, but this will be an EP, extended play album that would consist of 3 tracks recorded live with a band by yours truly, Hlonipani Ncube, and the album will be available on all digital platforms. As I speak at the moment, it can be pre-ordered on other platforms such as Spotify and also on YouTube. There is a specifically music channel for Hlonipani Ncube. It's called Hlonipani Ncube. You search for it. There are already albums on that. There are 2 on YouTube, but the one that I would be using and the one where this other album will come through, it's Hlonipani Ncube, and you just write Uthando Lwakhe. It will pop up. Make sure that you are subscribed on that channel so that on the 11th you become the very first one to spot the album. It is coming out precisely at 8 a.m. Central African time. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Ncube Mhlabane is signing out. Also remember, the videos will be streamed on this channel on the 11th of August. I think one of it at 8 p.m. The intervals, I'm not so sure, maybe we'll decide to put them, but you will see it. It would actually you will be notified in due course, but the album on digital platforms would be airing at exactly 8 a.m. on the 11th of August. Ncube Mhlabane is saying, let me love once again and leave you. Let's meet you on the other